Kensuke's Kingdom is coming to the big screen in 2024, and with Aaron MacGregor in the lead, this adaptation is set to be something truly special. Based on the beloved novel, this teaser is giving us a glimpse of the adventure, mystery, and heart that are sure to make this film a must-watch. Ready to explore this island of secrets? Well, let's break down everything we know so far and see why Kensuke's Kingdom might just be the next big hit of 2024. Kensuke's Kingdom is a British 2D animated film that feels like a rare gem, especially since it's been a while since I last saw one of those. The movie's based on Michael Morpurgo's 1999 novel, which I'll admit I hadn't heard of before. But after watching the film and then reading the book summary, I can say with confidence that it deeply moved me. This film captures that magical feeling of childlike wonder in a beautifully simple and heartfelt way. A quality that's incredibly rare, not just in animated films, but in movies in general. The story follows a young boy named Michael, voiced by Aaron MacGregor, who's on a sailing adventure with his family. But when a storm strikes, Michael and his dog Stella are thrown overboard and end up on a remote island. There they meet Kensuke, played by Ken Watanabe, a former Japanese World War II soldier who has made the island his home. As Michael and Kensuke learn to live together, they form a bond, filling in the missing pieces of each other's lives. And of course, Stella the dog plays a crucial role in their survival and friendship. The movie invites you to savor the beauty of its landscapes, the incredibly realistic sound design, and the small but significant details that many animated films might overlook. For example, the way a character hesitates before following another, or how the film takes its time to show a delayed reaction to a big reveal, or even the lifelike movements of Stella the dog. The film spends more time than I expected showing Michael alone on the island before he meets Kensuke. This choice immerses you in the sights, sounds, and textures of the remote environment and makes you feel the passage of days Michael endures in isolation. When he finally encounters another person, the contrast is almost shocking, making that moment of connection even more powerful. The animation style is a rough, sketchy quality that suits the simple, rugged story perfectly. There are also a couple of scenes where the animation style shifts, adding depth to the story. The first instance is heartwarming and fits well with a family bonding scene, but the second is downright haunting. It uses a paint-like style to deliver a backstory with stunning, layered visuals. However, I do have one small gripe. The facial animations of Michael and his family feel a bit stiff and lifeless at times, especially when compared to Kensuke's expressions, which convey much more emotion, despite him being the most reserved character in the film. At the heart of Kensuke's Kingdom is the relationship between Michael, Kensuke, and Stella the dog. Yes, Stella deserves equal billing because let's face it, dogs are often better than people, right? But both Michael and Kensuke are missing something vital in their lives. Michael lacks a sense of responsibility and maturity, which is evident from the start, while Kensuke's need is revealed later on. On the surface, this might seem like a typical story of a young boy befriending an older, wiser man, but the film's pacing and visual storytelling elevate it. The fact that Kensuke speaks no English is a change from the book, and it's a brilliant one. It makes their bond stand out and feel even more special because they have to connect without relying on language. This choice also adds a cultural layer to their relationship that both kids and adults could learn a lot from. As I watched Kensuke's Kingdom, I found myself torn about the idea of Michael reuniting with his family. By this point, he had formed such a strong bond with Kensuke, who had come to see him almost like a son, and the island had become his second home. The thought of Michael leaving all of this behind was heartbreaking, but so was the idea of him never seeing his family again. The film does a beautiful job of letting you sit with these conflicting emotions, and by the time the ending arrived, I was genuinely moved, my heart heavy with the weight of both possibilities. Going into the movie, I had one big concern. I'd seen the trailer and I knew that at some point, a group of poachers would arrive, threatening the island and its animal inhabitants. I was worried that this would turn the story into just another cliched, evil people versus nature plot that we've seen a million times. I feared it would ruin the warm, minimalist story of friendship that the film had built up so well, turning it into something forced and predictable. But, to my relief, this isn't what happens at all. Despite what the trailer might lead you to believe, the poachers are not the main focus of the story, nor do they drive the plot. Their presence on the island lasts for only about 10 minutes, and while the characters do react and grow closer because of the encounter, the film quickly moves on. There's no big showdown or battle to save their home. Instead, the story stays true to its original path, focusing on the journey and the relationships that have been developed throughout the film. I was incredibly relieved by this. The brief appearance of the poachers might not have been the most organic way to show character growth, but in the end, it didn't overshadow the core of the story. The film avoided the trap of falling into a tired, overused narrative, and I was grateful for that. Kensuke's Kingdom is a film that invites you to explore deep emotions and consider difficult choices. It's a story about friendship, family, and the connections we form with others, even in the most unexpected places. The film's pacing allows you to fully absorb these themes, letting the quiet moments speak volumes. By the end, I was feeling left with a mix of sadness and hope, touched by the story's simplicity and emotional depth. In just 84 minutes, the film manages to create a world that feels both intimate and expansive, drawing you in with its beautiful animation and heartfelt storytelling. It's not just a film for children, it's a story that resonates with anyone who has ever faced tough decisions or felt torn between two important points of their life. Kensuke's Kingdom is a rare gem, a film that doesn't rely on flashy action or over-the-top drama to make impact. Instead, it lets the strength of its characters and the beauty of its setting carry the story, resulting in a deeply moving experience that stays with you long after the credits roll. Kensuke's Kingdom might not be the most spectacular story ever told, but it is delivered in such an engaging and focused way that it truly highlights its strengths. Some people might walk away from it thinking it was just cute and not much more, and I can understand that reaction. But for me, someone who has had a bit of a love-hate relationship with more quirky or eccentric animated films and shows, I found myself appreciating this one for what it doesn't do. It avoids many of the common tropes and stylistic choices that tend to dominate the genre, and that alone made it stand out to me. The film also hit a nostalgic note for me, reminding me of the survival stories I read as a kid, like The Hatchet or The K. These books had a way of drawing me into their worlds, making me feel like I was right there with the characters, facing the same challenges and emotions, and Kensuke's Kingdom struck that same chord. I think that's why Kensuke's Kingdom left such an impression on me. It's a film that knows exactly what it wants to be and doesn't try to be anything more or less. It embraces its strengths like the beautiful animation, the emotional depth of its characters, and the quiet moments that allow you to fully absorb the story. It doesn't try to impress you with over-the-top antics or unnecessary twists. It simply invites you to experience the journey alongside the characters. For me, that approach made the film feel genuine and heartfelt. It's a reminder that sometimes less is more. Sure, it might not have the most groundbreaking plot or the most dazzling animation, but Kensuke's Kingdom doesn't need those things to be impactful. What it offers instead is a sense of warmth, nostalgia, and sincerity that's becoming increasingly rare in animated films. It's the kind of movie that leaves you feeling a little lighter, a little more connected to the simple joys of storytelling. As the release dates approach, August 2nd, 2024 in the UK and Irish cinemas, and October 18th, 2024 in theaters across the US and Canada, I'm excited to see how audiences will respond to this gem of a film. I have a feeling it'll resonate with others the way it did with me, offering a refreshing change of pace from the